Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabans. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a great show for y'all. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, yesterday was a very, very interesting day on ESPN First Take. The reason was because they were discussing the comments that that Kevin Durant had made. We had done a show about it prior, where I essentially said that, Kevin Durant just kicked off, a race war between the players. And some people got pretty upset with me. Hey, man, how are you going to put that in the title, man? How are you going to say that? What do you mean by that? Why would you say that? And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? The guy brought in the aspect of, he only focused on the white players. So what do you mean I'm bringing it up? I'm talking about what the guy said, right? I guess some people didn't like the way that I phrased it that way. I don't care, right? I'm going to say things how I feel, and I'm not going to be bullied into changing my viewpoints because someone feels the kind of way about a title. I'm just not. But yesterday they had some other panelists up there with Stephen A. Smith. One of them was Vincent Goodwill, who I'm sure of you know, and David Dennis Jr. Now, this guy, I've seen him from time to time. He's a huge LeBron apologist. He has some pretty quirky takes from time to time. Usually, if he's on and no one else is on, I generally don't listen because I'm not a fan of his takes, right? But I know him, right? I'm sure some of you know him. So they were reacting to what Kevin Durant had to say. And they were just talking about how the All-Star weekend has just kind of fallen apart. And as they were really getting into it, Vincent Goodwill says something that I think needed to be said on ESPN, and it made all of this news, right? But it was the truth. He said that the All-Star game hasn't been competitive since Kobe Bryant played basketball. And I'm like, yes, now we're finally getting to the truth. Take a listen to the exchange here.
Well, I just think that we have a little bit of a rose-colored glass and a little bit of nostalgia when we talk about All-Star games. We have always had very lax All-Star games. We've had All-Star games 30, 40, 50-point blowouts in All-Star games. You can't tell me that every single year that there has been some sort of playoff level or high intensity. The games play out themselves. They play out if they're close in the fourth quarter. No matter who is on the court, they will get competitive in that last quarter.
David, we're in a conversation like this. We're in a conversation like this. Are you sitting here on national television and denying? I'm saying what you said is absolutely right. Okay, fine. It wasn't that level of, again, we keep saying we're not expecting that. We've never seen that. But are you telling me over the last several years that you haven't seen a flagrant decline in effort on the border of just total disrespect and dismissiveness towards the league and the sponsors by players? You haven't seen that in terms of their effort on the basketball court. That is being made up. Is that what you're saying here this morning on national television?
I would say some of the problems with the All-Star game last year is all the change to try to manufacture this hard plan when you're not going to get that every year.
I agree.
You're going to get that.
I agree, but that's not what I asked you.
No, you're going to get that level of competition. I'm answering.
So you're not going to answer that.
I'm going to answer. You're going to get that level of competition when you have a close game in the fourth quarter, and that is by happenstance. 2001 happened to be close. 03 happened to be close. 2014 happened to be close. Those games in the 90s, 30, 40, 50-point games, you cannot tell me that you were watching competitive basketball in the 90s when they were playing. So you were watching watching the same level of player, the same level of talent.
He's not answering the question. You're not answering the question, David.
Bro, you're not going to last. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to last on this segment long if you don't answer questions. You got to answer the question. I asked you. I don't care what you see since the 80s, the 90s, 2000 and beyond. Are you telling us on national television
I'm watching the same game that I watched in the 90s?
5 to 10 years, hold on, you haven't seen over the last 5 to 10 years a flagrant decline in effort? Yes or no?
No, I'm not. I'm telling you. No, I am watching the same game. I'm watching the same. When they had the first game, when they changed the rules, the 24-point, that was they double-teamed Steph in the corner to try to win the game. LeBron hit a fadeaway to try to win it. They are playing competitive, the same level competitive basketball.
That's not true.
That's not true. The bar's the floor, and they can't meet that. The bar's the floor. Nobody's asking them to play regular season, even preseason basketball. They're saying go out there and provide a little resistance. The reason that we have all-star highlights from those years is because great offenses only made great offense in all-star games because there's a little bit of resistance there. They're just moving out the way. David, you cannot be, either you are not watching all-star games or you're being disingenuous, and I don't think you're being disingenuous. I think you are reacting to what you think is an overarching heavy criticism of the game and not necessarily watching the game the way that you should.
And two things could be true.
The quality of the game has gone down since Kobe Bryant left basketball. Usually there's one psycho, one maniac in the locker room that shames everybody into playing a little bit harder. But when I see Stephen Curry go in the middle of the floor, just lay down because somebody's going for a dunk, you've never seen that in an all-star game, no matter what type of blowouts that you may think about. You're talking about one or two blowouts. By and large, these games are somewhat competitive. That's not true, David. You're my guy, but don't do that.
All right, you could be right. And you could be right about what you're saying. Now, all of that stuff that you said could be absolutely true. But what we're saying is true about the flagrant decline in effort. It's blatant, bro. It's blatant, and there's no way around it. And it's proof in the pudding because the NBA keeps trying to come up with solutions to the damn problem. Clearly, it's a problem.
So you heard what these guys had to say. Now, let's get into it. You know, every once in a while, some truth kind of seeps through the airwaves of ESPN, and it makes headlines every once in a while, right? And this was another moment of it. The fact of the matter is this current generation of NBA players the guys after Kobe, KG, those guys, they're AI, that class of players, the guys that came after them have they dropped the ball. And the only reason the standard was withheld, even while these guys have been in the NBA for quite some time, was because those guys were still playing. Kobe was in all-star games playing with younger guys like D. Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, LeBron James. These guys were the next class that came after the Vinces, the T-Macs, the Yao Mings, the Shaqs, the Tim Duncans, and all of these guys, right? So those guys were pretty much still leading the charge. And there's no way what's going on today could have happened when those guys were playing. But Kobe, who played 20 years, was the last he was the last person from that generation, the Kevin Garnett, those guys. So when Kobe retired, it left a vacuum, and the league became Stephen Curry's, LeBron's, and these guys to kind of uphold the legacy that those guys, their predecessors had built. And what did they do? Not only did they not uphold the legacy, they helped contribute to the erosion of the sport, and especially to All-Star Weekend as a whole. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? Let's go into the slam dunk contest for a second. Before, all of the top players participated in it. Kobe, Jordan, Vince Carter, all of them, right? We don't need to go through the list of players. But the first person that really broke that mold was LeBron James. LeBron said he wasn't going to perform in the All-Star slam dunk contest. And the reason that was, according to rumors, was that he was upset that the NBA didn't put him on the All-Star team as a rookie, and so therefore he vowed to never participate in the slam dunk contest, right? And he would thumb his nose where he would do slam dunk contests during warm-ups and all of that, right? So LeBron was the first person to kind of break the tradition there. And then once younger stars started seeing that LeBron wasn't doing it, then they followed suit. Then you have the next part, the player empowerment movement. It then became more about the brands than the sport itself. And then players are like, well, is this going to be beneficial to my brand? What if I lose? This is going to hurt. That all contributed to it. And this is the sport. This is the result of all of this that we have today. So the three people I hold accountable are LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, because those guys have been the face of the league for the past 7, 8, 9 years. Those are the guys that are responsible. So Kevin Durant trying to put it on the European players, bro, it's an American sport, man. It's an American sport. It's been dominated by American players for decades. Don't try to put it on the foreigners now all of a sudden. You guys played a major role in the decline of the sport. This is a fact. And Vincent Goodwill is just saying something that we all knew. Kobe was the last leader we had in the NBA, the last real leader. The last real kind of statesman of the NBA. He was the last one. And it's a fact. There's no way a lot of the stuff that we see going down today would be happening if Kobe Bryant was around. There's no way. And we all know it. And what he did was just state the obvious. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show. Peace.